Good evening. Thank you for the splendid tour of your back garden. The plants are growing wonderfully well, and I'm particularly impressed with the lemon tree. I read the other day that it takes 5 years for a lemon tree to establish, and I think your lemon tree is on the way. You must continue to feed it with the beautiful substance. I shall be bringing in some more of the beautiful substance on Saturday. Now, this particular cowbell we purchased in Cumbria at Christmas when we were on holiday there. It makes a gloriously beautiful noise and it makes us feel relaxed. I shall now conduct a tour of my back garden. Now this is the little bit round the side. It's kind of like a secret garden really, and we have a assortment of flowers and various plants. Now this little palm tree died about 6 or 7 years ago, and suddenly we saw a little shoot in the ground and it grew back again. How remarkable. I shall move on to one or two other plants. Now this little one here in this blue pot we purchased about 1 week ago, and it's already grown about twice its size. I've no idea what it is, but it looks rather interesting. Now, that there was retrieved from Heidi's school. The caretakers threw it out and it was all kind of dying, and she said we must bring it home, and now it is absolutely glorious. And that other thing there, that grassy thing, I like that very much, and he seems to be very happy. Now we have basil and coriander in there, and I'd like to show you something very, very special. Here is a red currant bush, and I can tell you now, look at the beautiful red currants that are growing there. Look at them. And I picked one of those yesterday, and it's very tart but very, very nice. And I'm very pleased because last year it didn't grow any red currants at all. Now I should go through the arch. You can see the arch there that my wife asked me to paint about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's gone rotten in certain parts. It will fall down one day. Nevertheless, this rose here is called Swan Lake. Rather beautiful rose. It's past its best, but nevertheless rather beautiful. And round here we have a beautiful plant, which I believe is called Hot Lips, but that's the kind of nickname for it. I don't know what the proper name is for it. And then we have this one here. I don't know what any of these are actually, but I do know that this one is called an agapanthus, and what this one does, let me show you. Similar to this agapanthus, it grows these beautiful, beautiful little flowers on a rather erect stem. I'd like you to show your wife that, Alan, if you don't mind. There's not just one erect stem, there's two. And there's the other one, even more erect. Now you're familiar with the palm tree. We will remind you of the pot because you have mini films of the palm tree when we had to repot it. And there we are, a rather splendid palm in a rather splendid pot. Now, I shall move on. And we have a variety of shrubs in the garden. I can't remember their names, but I believe this one is called a bluebird, which is again the nickname. It's not the proper name, and when the flowers come out, they're blue. Very, very splendid. May I move on? That one, I can't think what that's called. I can't remember the name of that. Rather splendid, nevertheless. Now, this one again has a blue flower. And I can't remember what that's called. No, I can't remember. I'll move on to this one of some sort of grass doodah. Rather splendid again. And it doesn't do any flowers, but it is very nice. And this one here, I do know what that's called. It's called a Cotoni Aster. And the bees buzz around that all day, and the flowers are beginning to come out. Even though the flowers are not out properly, there are so many bees on this during the morning and daytime. I've remembered what this one's called. It's called a ceanosis. Oh yes, it's called a ceanosis. Thank you. Now, I shall move on, and this is the Cotoni Aster, but you may hear a bee actually. There we are, look, it's a late bee. Now it's 9 o'clock at night, and this bee is collecting nectar. But in the day, there are so many bees on this. It's quite astounding. Now, I shall show you this one. This is a climbing one. It's a jasmine, which has gone up there. And it produces lovely white flowers. And this brings me to the hanging basket. There we are. Those red flowers are called... I can't remember what they're called either. I do know what they're called, but I can't remember at the moment. No, I can't remember. But anyway, that blue one is called lobelia, which is a rather splendid flower. These are called fuchsias. Fuchsias. How could I forget fuchsias? Yeah. Now I'll show you another one if you don't mind me. It's not opened up yet, but it will look rather splendid when it does open up. Let us move on. I do apologise for having to move on past this. This is a roof of a car, my son's car, which is covered up. Which he has the convertible. You see, this is the hard top, and we have to keep it covered during the summer months. Now, this one here, this is a rather splendid plant. This is a Clematis, and it produces lots of flowers, probably 3 or 4 times a year actually. Look at the beauties all ready to come along and make one feel very, very happy. Yes. Now, I shall move on to the blueberry, which you've seen, so I won't dwell on the blueberry too long. But you can see they will turn blue probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, I don't know. But they are rather splendid. Now this is our table where we have our dinners out in the night time when it's warm enough, and you can see in the background, look at the special beauty. I shall go closer now to the beauty. Now, we have lots of lemons. Plenty of lemons are growing on the lemon tree. They're kind of hidden in the leaves, so we have to search them out. There we are. I'm coming rather close to the lemon tree. I have to negotiate past the table. And there's plenty of them. They're all down there. There we are. And there's one round here. Look at that beautiful little beauty. Goodness me, I'll have a gin and tonic with that beauty soon. There's another one there. And there's others there. And there's one hiding in there. Goodness me, how fortunate it is to have... I am to have a beautiful lemon tree. This is another Clematis. There's no flowers on this at the moment, but it has started to grow along that wire there. Rather interesting, but I think this one is a purple one. Now I shall move on and go past the little miniature orange tree. The flowers will produce little miniature oranges. I did eat one once, but they're not really edible. You know, they're too small. And this is the peach tree, of course, which I think you are familiar with. You know, there's peaches, so you can see that they hide under the leaves. You see these peaches? Can you see them? I think because the tree has to protect the peaches, the leaves have to hang down over the peaches for protection. But there's loads of them, absolutely loads of them. Some more there, some more over there. You know, there's loads down here. Goodness me, there's so many. And look at that beauty, a rather splendid example of a lobelia with a rose, a little miniature rose. And this is a little pepper plant. You can see the flowers will produce peppers. We have them